This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. There's nothing sweeter than baking cookies during the holidays. With Prime, I get all my ingredients delivered right to my door, fast and free, no last-minute store trips needed. And of course, I blast my favorite holiday playlist on Amazon Music. It's the ultimate soundtrack for creating unforgettable memories. From streaming to shopping, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.
You're listening to Saucepans and Sidesteps.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Saucepans and Sidestep podcast. Joining me, Big M, as always, the one and only Mr. Huw Griffin. Good evening. How are we, my friend?
Good evening, mate. I'm very good. It's just you and me tonight. No Benji, no Carwin. They'll be back. Don't worry, people. Don't worry, Carwin's mum. He'll be back. But for now, we'll just have to make do with just us.
Yeah, Benji's, he's prepping for his vlogging debut, so, he needs the time.
Yeah.
So, Bayonne, what was it, 17, 16? Would you have taken that scoreline?
It's a season of that. How many games have we said this season? Probably apart from the Cardiff loss, every single, and obviously Zebra. We've said, we'd have taken that before the game, but now we've seen the game, we're gutted we didn't win, and it's just the same every single game. So, am I annoyed? Yes. Am I sad? No. Am I angry? No. Am I satisfied?
Are you running out of flashcards?
Kinda. It's just this constant bizarre feeling that we've got this season. Let's not get it twisted. Bayonne are above La Rochelle in the top 14 table.
Bayonne smashed La Rochelle at home.
And they are not. It wasn't a B team. They didn't have Mangala, who's the guy I was freaking out about, but they had Scarlets favourites, Uzer Kasim and Peter Schultz in the team. They had their first choice, Camille Lopez, fly half. So, and we weren't full strength. I mean, we'll talk about the Scarlets selection in a bit. So it's kind of like, all right, but just when you have watched the game, which we didn't get to watch live, obviously it wasn't on telly, and we didn't pay the €8 to watch it live. If that makes us not real fans, well, tell our podcast about it. But we watched it on S4C afterwards, watched the replay, and it would almost have been easier if we were like 20 points down at halftime, which we could very easily have been. We kind of got a try right before halftime, got us back into it, and then we were on top in the second half. But it was 3-0 for most of the second half, or 6-0, whatever it was. We gone 55 minutes out in France without conceding a point.
It's not bad.
And we lost. Ugh. It's not as bad as Clermont last year. Do you remember that? That was bad.
No, I can't have blocked that from my memory. So thanks.
I don't know. What about you, mate? What's the emotions after this one? Because it's just the same after most games at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not depressed. I'm not depressed as in I'm gonna go and do something to myself, but yeah, I just feel, it's depressing to lose in that manner. We really stuck at in that first half, and people are going to make a lot of things of that stat that came out, of that player who, beat 22 defenders. Well, let's be honest, he probably got tackled 22 times straight away after. It doesn't matter how many defenders you beat. You can be 30 defenders and still only go forward 10 meters. That means absolutely nothing. But, the defensive effort from the boys, the amount of times we held them up as well, we should say, was phenomenal.
Ellis Mees one was the one that was big Hollywood about that. The other two were soak tackle, flop over the line, and current laws, it's a turnover. So it was a cheap turnover. 48% of crossings of the try line are held up, is my stat for you.
Ooh, that's a good stat.
So, and it was 50% in this game. So there you go.
There we go. Yeah, like if we do note that Ellis Mead, that was okay. A little bit of arrogance from the attempted try scorer. We should have really gone to ground as soon as possible that
But Ellis Mee is because of how Ellis Mee is chasing him down. Because if you look at it, he's like running between the posts, and because Ellis Mee is chasing him down, he's had to like go like towards one of the posts. He's nearly run into the post, and that's stopped him from transferring the ball to his other hand. He can't because he's got the space. So I think you got to credit Ellis Mee for
Oh,
that.
I will credit Ellis a lot, but there's a fair bit of it. You'd score that 99.99% times, whether you go the other side of the post or you try to go, a little bit earlier and just slide. But that was brilliant. The way he just got that grab, because no one saw that coming. No one whatsoever. It was bloody amazing. And it just goes back to what, you said earlier in the season when you saw Ellis for the first time, and what we have seen since, whether it was with the Scarlets or with Llandovery. He is a really, really good player, and he's a brilliant one to have. And, at such a young age that he is, he's only going to get better.
And precisely when he gets a try.
Oh, yeah, the world's going to blow up when he gets a try. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm in a more negative space because of that loss. More than, I know we rotated our team. I know we were up against a team that were undefeated at home, who, fly in pretty high in the top 14. You get into that top 6 and the top 14, and, you're more than doing all right. Beat the likes of Toulouse and La Rochelle at home already this season. It really should be, pleased with this performance. But it's just that nagging feeling of we should have won this game. And that's where my head is. We should have won, and I don't want to blame the ref, but that last 5 minutes, it breaks my heart. It really does.
You don't see many given like that for the push. So people who hadn't seen it, because obviously there's a lot of people who wouldn't have seen it because it wasn't on telly. So we get awarded a penalty for was it a jackal? Can't quite remember. But either way, Scarlets win a penalty in our own half on defence. There's a bit of argy-bargy after the penalty, and the referee said, "Oh no, that's what it was. They played the 9. They played the 9." So that's what it was. So there's a bit of argy-bargy. It was like to
at the back of a caterpillar, by the way.
To call it handbags would be an overstatement. There was nothing in it. Peter and Archer Holtz has given someone a bit of a nudge, like literally a bit of a nudge. And it's in response to the player he's nudged is absolutely clattered Archie at the back of a ruck. He's like flown in off his feet, like proper like human torpedo, and he's been penalised for that. So if you talk about which offence was worse, absolutely the Bayonne player has committed the worst offence. But the referees decided in the moment, now I'm going to reverse the penalty and give Bayonne a kick to win it, and kick it they did.
Yeah. Well, that's what annoyed me is the reasoning the ref has given. He said, "Oh, I did it at the end of the first half. They're the same." You go to the end of the first half, and what was it? Tom Rogers and Lopez, diving to ground the ball over the line, and Lopez literally grabbed while Tom Rogers is still on the floor. He grabs his neck and head and starts shaking him. How is that the same as literally? All Holtz really did was literally hip thrust him to push him forward. That's literally all that happened. If he said it's a reaction, end of, I could probably take a bit more. But when he said it's the same as the first half, that just lit a little dynamite in my head, going, "What?" Such differences. You got someone violently bloody shaking you, and another one just giving you a little bit of push. You'd expect that on the bloody tube, you know what I mean? But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but to be fair, the first half performance from the Scarlets wasn't great. Always the way the games end is how you remember them. And the second half, we were the Scarlets that we've come to expect this season. First half, we were last season's Scarlets, to be honest. We when we say we rotated, with our squad size, there's a limit to how much rotation we could do. So it was as rotated as we're able to go. Obviously, Archie was on the bench. Joe got his first start since he got injured, so since before the Six Nations, or since during the Six Nations, since the Munster game, I guess it must have been, where he scored that wonder try.
No, it was actual Wales France, wasn't it?
Yeah,
They got
I
it.
meant Scarlets game. There's
Oh,
that
yeah.
Scarlets game we were going against Munster. And so there was, I think the two players that we probably missed most were Marnus van der Merwe and Josh McLeod. I think they would have made the biggest difference.
Yeah, I don't want to disrespect the guy because it was his first ever Scarlets appearance. But if Sam Wainwright doesn't go off so early, I think we would have been in a much better place. I don't think Holtz really covered himself in glory in that game. To say he struggled would be about there. Never mind. He's 24 years old. First time in this country, as far as we were aware. First time playing professional rugby in this country. So,
I know,
as a
actually,
tight
he did play in the top 14, so he has been to France before.
yeah, no Wales though. Wales is different. France is they got like 3 degrees more
Well,
on
he
us.
still hasn't actually played a game in Wales.
True, very true. Oh shit, I can't do this now. Crap. But no, yeah, he didn't have the greatest of games, but he's a young tight end, 24 years old, like I just said. You know, he's got all the physical attributes, and I mean every single one to be an amazing player. I think he just needs a bit more time to bed in before he can, become who he will become. And there's no doubt he's going to be a great player, especially like I said, with the physique and with the training he's had in the past. Sam Wainwright deserves a hell of a lot more credit than what he's been getting over the last few years. He was brilliant against Glasgow. The first couple of scrums in Bayonne, solid as a rock. And that is where our scrum went after he was replaced when he went off injured. Hopefully not too bad. So a big bag of ice on his ankle with a couple of crutches next to him. I'm hoping precautionary more than anything. He is a hell of a player. He does his work in the scrum. We saw that a couple of
People
years
forget
ago.
he's played for Wales. He was
Yeah,
a Wales international under Pivac.
he is the reason Wales got that win out in South Africa. It was his scrum penalty that earned us that kick. It is a shame to see, the way his career has gone. Essentially, Pivac left, and so did Wainwright. Essentially, and that isn't what, but he is still, a brilliant player and a brilliant scrummager. Didn't see much of him last season, a lot of personal issues, but he's come back firing this year. And fair play, our tight head stocks, if they're all fit. Obviously, Hawk is out for the foreseeable future. And Wainwright in there with young Holtz, with young Hawley we brought in from Brunel University, and obviously the man himself, Henry Thomas. Our front row stocks are really good. There's a little bit of work to do in there in the middle at hooker, but we got a lot of depth there come in, which is great to see. But I totally agree with you with Josh McLeod. He drives our defense. He really does. I don't know whether it's just the fact that he's captain or just the player that he is. He just makes things go up another notch.
Mm. Fafita stole about 4 lineouts in this game.
For
I don't
44
know if we've
minutes.
mentioned this on the pod previously, but Fafita is really good. Like, I don't know if anybody's noticed this. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he's only been here a couple of years. I mean, I think he's only made an impact in every game he's played. So yeah, I
yeah,
don't think we mentioned much of that.
yeah.
But yeah, so line out was an issue, which we're not used to seeing. And obviously, as you just said, Marnus van der Merwe would have made a big difference. I think the same as Elias. I think if one of those was in there.
Well, we only lost one of our own lineouts, to be fair. I know it's 78%, but 78% of 9 is 8. So,
It didn't look, the lineout didn't look like it was functioning all that well, though, either. If you're just watching the game back. And, we can go down the route of, Sean Evans he's a 7 who's converted. He converted mid-career. He'd already played, a couple of seasons as an open side before converting, professionally.
he's been injured all season till now.
He had his first game for Quins a couple of weeks ago. Scored a try. First game back for us. Scored a try.
Yeah, easy.
So there we go. I think Wales need to call him up. But yeah, we've always had this issue with Sean. We love him to pieces. We truly do. But he's not that traditional hooker mold. He's not that big burly guy. He is quite slender. If anything, he is
It is a
more
bit
of
of a
a.
trend, though. Back rows becoming hookers. We see it quite a
It
lot.
is, yeah. Dewi Lake. That's your main one you're going to use if you're going to talk in
Yeah,
Wales.
Cardiff have got a few.
Yeah, Evan Lloyd. Oh, there we go. 2/3 of the Wales bloody hookers are converted back rowers,
Yeah.
and it doesn't always work. It depends on when you do it and who they are. It's like in the case of Dewi Lake, you can see he's got the physical size for it. Brilliant. Evan Lloyd, jury's still out. Obviously, we haven't seen a great deal of him, and I don't think Cardiff have seen a great deal of him either, which makes it even more bewildering on that front. But yeah, I love Sean, but I was quite surprised we didn't get to see young Isaac. I can't say that.
Young Isaac
Isaac
Young.
Young come on to the pitch. I should have said young Isaac and just paused and just said,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Isaac Young. Because I've raved about Harry Thomas on this podcast last year
Is
previously.
he injured? I've
Yes.
forgotten. Yeah.
Yes, he is. Isaac Young is another one, year senior to Harry. And he still under 20s age. As of right now, soon as January hits, he won't be. But because that's the way the age grade rules work. Strange, I know, for us. But he was out in the Junior World Cup over the summer, and he looked a completely different animal to whatever I've seen him before. Obviously, he travelled to South Africa last season with us, and he got some minutes off the bench. But the player I saw in the summer and, clips through the Welsh Prem of last season, now SRC, looking forward to seeing him back in there. I'll potentially see him on Thursday night. You never know. He was a different animal, a completely different player. He was so much more aggressive, so much more physicality coming from him. He didn't look out of place in any of the games we played. So I was a bit disappointed not to see him come on. So, anyone else you want to talk about? We got a few young boys that.
I thought Archie made a good impact when he came on. I thought he looked sharp. Obviously, Dwayne's been very excited about him. We were all very excited about him. He was one of the best players for Wales under-20s when he was in that age grade. I'm just excited to see him back in the fold. We didn't see much of Joe. Let's be honest. We didn't have the ball in attack very much. He could have had a try. Evan Lloyd had a break. He could have fed Joe. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Obviously, Evan was as frustrated about that as anybody else. I don't know. You've got a bit of a theory because we did see Evan and Charlie in this game, but you've got a bit of a theory about the lack of minutes that they've got under their belts this season is maybe starting to show.
For me, it's not the lack of minutes; it's the lack of faith. Now, they have both been on the bench. Evan, I think every single game has been on the bench rather than this one.
He's only played against Zebra.
Yeah. And Charlie went through it last season on the bench, not playing, and he's been on the bench again this season, not playing. So he comes on for a few minutes and it's a case of, okay, I can't do anything wrong. Or I've got to do everything right. And I think that's what we saw from both of them. Evan thinking the world is on his shoulders. Look, I need to take this opportunity now, sort of thing, which is where that try error came from. Because anyone would have told you to pass that ball. Everything he would have learned in his entire rugby career from the time he started, at whatever age, whether it was 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, would have say pass the bloody ball if it's a 2-on-1. It's just basic.
It was a good break by Jared Taylor to set that up as well.
Oh, very good break. And the fact that I love the fact that our supporting runners were there. They were all switched on to it. Like, I know Dwayne has talked a lot about transition play being.
That was very old Scarlets, wasn't it? That was very proper Scarlets.
It was the right way to go. But yeah, with Charlie, I think it was a case of he felt so much internal pressure that he just dodged it up in his head, and so that's where the charge down came from. Every time he turns out for the Quins, and I know it's a different level, but he stands out so much because he doesn't belong there. He stands out because he deserves to be up here. He deserves to be in this URC EPCR mold.
Yeah.
So it is unfortunate.
But it's difficult to, if both Sammy and Johan are both fit, it's just difficult to see when do you put him in, where, based on where we are as a team, and we say it on every pod, we want to see us go full strength every week. So it's just difficult to see a game where he might get a shot. Some people might say, oh, the game this weekend is an
No.
opportunity, but we'll speak on about it at the end of the pod. It's not. So, yeah, it's just tricky, you know. I guess his only chance to get some minutes is if we're going to be in a game where we're several points up. But, you know, based on where we are at the moment, again, that doesn't look like it's going to happen. So anyway, I'm just going to show the stats of the game. Just if people do want to watch it, by the way, and I might have said it already, it's still on iPlayer. If you go on S4C and Scarlets versus Bayonne, or type it into BBC iPlayer, you'll find it then. So that's all right. So it was very backs against the wall. You know, 39% possession. Most of the play was in our half. You know, we had yeah, our possession map doesn't look too bad, but it's just that we didn't have very much of it. We did dominate the last 10 minutes, though. We were on top. I think we finished the game better. I think it's fair to say that we're quite a fit team these days, considering how many of our players play 80 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we can add into the deal that was announced today. We seem to be investing quite heavily in some athletical equipment.
What deal was announced today? I haven't seen.
It was. I'll pull it up now. It was with a sort of recovery specialists. I'll get the exact name of them up now. Recov Hub. It's basically to enhance post-match recovery. I believe Shane Carney has he has a few quotes in there. But yeah, we seem to be pushing a lot into our S&C, which
I wonder
is
if that's Lee Jones kind of pushing that. That wouldn't surprise me. Not to take
no.
any away from Shane, obviously, but I wouldn't be surprised if Lee Jones has come in and said it's a proper like teach a man to fish or give a man a fish scenario, isn't it? It's kind of like, look, either we can keep signing players on loan to cover for the injuries that we have, or we can stop having injuries. You go, stop having injuries, please. So
Yeah, so from the picture they've used, it looks like they're two massive tubs. So I'm assuming they're multi-use, whether it's heat, whether it's cold, whether it's ice. You know, you've got
is
to
this on
invest in
Scarlett's
these things.
Twitter?
Yeah, it is on Scarlet's Twitter. That's where I got the original link from. So
Very weird.
Scarlet announced new partnership with
Oh, here
Reclub
we go.
to
Oh
enhance
yeah.
post-match recovery.
Oh, it looks like they're at a spa. Hang on, I'll show the YouTube people. Hang on.
It
Here we go.
it
Look
has
at
got a
that.
nice look to it.
Very nice. You got Maximus in there, and then who's this guy? Is that
Archer, maybe?
maybe? Looks
I don't
nice then,
know.
isn't it?
It
The
does
missus will
look
be
like
after us to get one of these in the house.
they look like two big barrels, really, that are not shaped properly.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah,
looks. Have you ever seen one of those travel programs where they have a bath in wine or beer or something? That's probably what it is. Tell you what, if we win the league, we'll fill it with beer. How about
that sounds nice, actually. Like, you don't even need to win the league. Let's just do it on a break.
that? Let's
Yeah,
just do that.
what have we got? We got like 10 days off after we beat the Ospreys in the West Wales derby. Yeah, let's just do it a Sunday and Monday. But
All
yeah,
right, okay. I just get it. All right, back to the stats. Hang on, where was I? What's the tab now? I've got that many tabs.
he's a tab master.
I am a tab. Well, I'm doing research for a video, so um,
Ooh, if you look at the tabs, you might see what he's doing. Ooh, sneak peek.
yeah, exactly. I don't think there is that much crossover between this channel and
Jesus.
my channel, but
Okay, there's Wikipedia's in there. 3 Wikipedias I can see. YouTube, a few rugby passes, Rugby World. Oh wow, he's really going for it. Sky
yeah.
Sports. What
I
else?
probably
What
should.
else? TT. What's TT? That's an interesting
I
one for
don't
me.
even know. I don't even know.
I don't think it's a
Um,
risk clicking on it, but it doesn't look good.
it's all kosher. Don't worry. Yeah. So 100. Right. It says here that we got 100% scrum success. It's a little bit. It's an indicator of scrum stats are a bit naughty, really, because that doesn't show all the times that Bayonne kind of pulverized us on their own put-in. To be
Yeah.
fair, um, like I said, lost one line out. They lost four. So chill
Yeah.
out.
All through
Restarts
Peter.
completely fine. Look at the attacking stats. This isn't very Scarletsy, is it? So 68 carries for 107 meters, one line break. Come on, boys. Like,
I mean,
we've got
68 carries, 74 passes. That's not very scalty either. That's basically telling us we're playing off 9 the whole game.
we didn't have the ball. We didn't have the ball. That's the kind of the problem. Like, if you look at ball carries for Bayonne, 165. Actually, I'll show you this now then. So defense tackles made. So we made 223 tackles against 165 ball carries. So what that means is that we were doubling up a lot. So doing double hits on people and things. So that's how that works, basically.
Or instead of giving each tackler one, we start giving them half points or third of
I
points.
think that tackles made might include missed. So 45 missed. So missed tackles is one of those stats like we alluded to that people get all excited about. We
Yeah.
still tackled at 83%. We conceded 2 tries. That if people I'd sometimes get asked like, what's the defensive stats? The only defensive stat is the scoreboard, and the scoreboard says 17 points. So there you go. 31 kicks from us. That's a lot. So
Yeah, that's basically half.
basically, the story from the stats is we were on the back foot. It was a backs to the wall performance, and we done all right, I suppose, in the end. Johan Lloyd, good performance off the kicking tee. It was windy. Fair to say that it was very, very windy.
Very windy. Let's be honest, the post constantly moved. So I think we're going to use that as the excuse why you missed that one. It was going in, but the post moved.
Yeah, no need to check. Just take our word for it. It was going in and the posts blew out of the way.
100%.
So yeah, one thing to say about the game. I was about to say, moving on from this game, one last thing to say. Johan Nicholas, 100 Scarlets caps. Congratulations.
Yeah,
And
you made a nice little video for him
yeah,
where he
first try down in South Africa in Port Elizabeth against the Southern Kings. He was passed the ball by Dinky Jones and scored in the corner.
and like you told us earlier, who passed the ball to Dinky Jones?
It was the one and only Michael Phillips of not Carmarthen, because I said he was from Carmarthen and people got upset.
He's Whitland, isn't he?
His Wikipedia
that
says he
is-
was born in Carmarthen. But anyway, Mike Phillips passed in the ball. It was that game where Mike Phillips came out of retirement to play. So I tell you what, looking back on that, Mike Phillips is massive. He was like our biggest player on the pitch in that
Yeah.
game. But
We
it was in
also had
2017, so I got to watch 2017 Scarlets.
Oh, yeah. We also got Herschel Yankees on that mini tour as well. So
Paul
that
Asquith
was
scored a
one.
try in that game.
Oh, go on then.
No, I haven't got the list. I haven't got the list. That's the only other thing I remember about it.
Ah, ah.
It was something like
I mean,
32-30 or something. It was a mad game, and we lost to the Cheetahs the next week.
what? Oh, it must not be. Obviously, it was in South Africa, so my
Yeah,
little
it was
South
when our
Africa
entire
foray
team.
is only at the park.
Ty Burns scored a try in the game as well. It was when our entire team got picked for Wales.
Oh, nice. Oh well. Here we go. So, are we ready to move on to the best part of the show?
Is that now?
Yeah, I'm coming in early.
Okay.
Okay, it's not early. I'm coming out. It's ready for the community. Okay, but you ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yay! There were zero senior games of rugby in Wales this weekend. But because we are very fortunate to be moving this podcast a day forward to the Tuesday, we do have some results to bring you. We've got Youth and Doer Shield rugby results. Come on.
Yay.
So,
Hey, they're playing up first. Come on.
sorry.
Is that not how you say it?
Okay, let's. we look. Everyone on this podcast, everyone that listens, knows that you haven't been enthralled in a life of Wales, but wow, I love it, mate. Okay, so we had two teams playing on Monday evening over in Merthyr at the Wern. So it was the Lawrence Miller Bowl final, which I keep calling the Lewis Miller Bowl for some strange reason, where Llanelli played Merthyr Schools in a repeat of last year's bowl final as well. And Llanelli retained the title 17 points to 8.
Get in,
Opened
boys.
the show. Happy days, amazing stuff, boys. Congratulations to everyone there, and looking forward to seeing what they can do next season now. And then we go upper level, the Morgan Griffiths Plate. And this is a name I don't mess up. So we're all good. So Mynydd Mawr against Cynan Valley.
That's it. I wasn't miles off. I didn't deserve that mocking.
You deserve
pun.
all the mocking. Here we go. 51-21 winners. They blew them out of the water. And I want people to remember now, this is under 16s level rugby, so it's 30 minutes a half. So in an hour, in 60 minutes of rugby, there were 72 points in this game. So fair play to them. They were run off their
You got your
feet.
tickets worth there, boys, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. The actual Dewar Shield final is on this evening. I believe it should have finished. And no, it's not finished, but it looks as though Pontypridd Schools will win this one. They're currently 34-19 up against Cardiff Central. Happy days for them.
Cardiff Central have got a team. Well, it's Harley and Dan and 30 other
No,
blokes.
it's the under 16s age groups, but
Oh, I see. Sorry.
they didn't exist last year. So
If you are a Cardiff fan, we do have fans of other regions listen to this podcast. If you are a Cardiff fan, listen to the Cardiff Central podcast.
well done. Okay, so we're just going to dive straight in for fixtures this week. As I've already started in the youngsters, I'll keep it up.
Wait, sorry, just quickly. Because they've cancelled all those games because it was windy, when are they going to reschedule them?
Okay, so all the cup games have just been pushed forward to this week. So basically, they're moving everything on a week for the cup. There's a little gap in December where you don't play for like 2-3 weeks for certain leagues where I think they'll have a chance to fulfill their fixtures then if they want. If not, there's gaps during the Six Nations, and there's X amount of weeks at the end of the season that they can't play those games.
Okay.
So that is something I want to come to with the SRC though, because that's slightly different. Okay, so I'm in the youth. It's Cup week for the youth. So in the top tier, it's round 2 for everybody. The WRU Cup. Carmarthen Quins are travelling up to Carnarvon. Good luck, boys. That's a hell of a trip. Lampeter hosting Am United, and reigning champion Llandilo are travelling to Morriston. Into the plate, Carmarthen Athletic at home to St. Peter's. Crimmoch are hosting Valley Ravens. And Haverfordwest are going up to Wrexham. Dude, that's 2 big trips for our side. It's not fair. Into the bowl, just the one fixture, an all Scarlet clash. We got Aberystwyth at home to Fishguard. And then down into the Shield. Jeez, even more Scarlet clashes. Vellinvall at home to Furness. That's nice. That's tasty. Fair play. And then Langham at home to Tumble. Okay, so we're into senior rugby. And you just mentioned about all these cancelled games. So the SRC, Super Rugby Cymru, is slightly different because we have a playoffs at the end of the season. So It was announced recently that Wales under-20s were going to be playing a few friendly games in the middle of January, the 10th and the 17th, I believe the dates were, against a Welsh Academies under-23s. So this would be anyone that's under 23 in Wales or Welsh that's eligible for this. So I would imagine that's going to take a lot of SRC boys away. So if we can assume that no SRC games are going to be played on those 2 weekends now, because those were 2 free weekends, that means there are only 2 guaranteed free weekends in the entire season, which is during the Six Nations. And as it stands, Aberavon and Newport both have 3 games to rearrange. So they've got 1 game too many to play. If they're both lucky.
Tuesday night rugby, Mark, it's the only solution.
It is. Tuesday night rugby is what we want. We want Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday. 1 team, 3 games. Or no, 2 teams. You've made me bubble it up now, but I don't like this. But yeah, it's a bit of a predicament, and we'll talk a bit more of it on the SRC podcast. So yeah, okay. This week we do have Thursday night rugby live on S4C. Carmarthen Quins against Aberavon. You have no idea how long I have waited to say we've got a Thursday night game again.
I'm looking forward to this one. I want to watch this.
Yes, I really am because
I can't. I'm doing the women's pod. Bugger.
Background.
Tell
the
me
women's
what
pod in the background. Watch the game. But yeah. So live on S4C, click YouTube, etc. That's a really good game for where both teams are. Aberavon have just picked up their 2nd win of the season. Aberafan, they are playing well. They're just not getting across the line. So the last game where they picked up the win, it could be a momentum turner. And Carmarthen Quins have looked mightily impressive this season, especially compared to last. And at home, Carmarthen Park's turning into a bit of a fortress. I'm not going to say otherwise. It's looking pretty good. Okay, and the other game is on Saturday. We got Llandovery at home to RGC. Llandovery are back to winning rugby, as we know, over the last few rounds that they've played, and they've got a bit of business to deal with RGC after losing the first leg in Colwyn Bay.
How are RGC coming? They come in via
carrier pigeon, I thought.
A carrier pigeon. That's new. Yeah, that's very eco-friendly then.
Well, yeah, they like to try different things up north, you know. All right, so that's the semi-pros. Then let's get into the proper amateur. So all the cup games from last week that were cancelled are back in again. So I'll run through them quickly. Championship Cup quarterfinal, Llanelli Wanderers home to Kenfig Hill. The rest of these now are all round to 16. So Division 1 Cup, Aberystwyth home to Hendy. Tenby travel to Bridgend Athletic. Division 2, Brynhaman at home to Caerphilly, Lampeter travel to Cardiff Quins, and Carmarthen Athletic at home to Abercrave. Division 3 Cup, Llangadog at home to Pontyberem, Cardigan going to Newtown, and to Christ hosting Aberaeron. Division 4 Cup, Newcastle Emlyn Dreigiau hosting Neyland, Trimsaran going to Ferndale, Llandibby travelling to Llanelith, Narberth Athletic travelling to Pontyclean, and Crymych Tyrw travelling to Tylerstown. Now, back into the leagues. So those who are not involved in the Cup, thankfully, have got to keep some of their fixtures. So in the Premiership, Narberth are travelling to Cross Keys, Newcastle Emlyn are hosting Pontypridd, and Llangennech are travelling to Ystrad. I would say the biggest game of the day is Llangennech and Ystrad. Yeah, I'm expecting a good performance from Newcastle Emlyn against Ponty, but I'm not going to hold my hopes up and say they're going to win. They do have Scarlets Academy boy Ellis Payne in their ranks, 10-12 fullback, mostly playing fullback at the minute. But yeah, Ystrad Rhondda, Llangennech is the bigger one by year. Llangennech are proven to be the top side, below SRC level for us. And, we were all banking on Narberth being that team this year, but Llangennech have taken it up a notch. So Ystrad Rhondda is a really good test, and it's really good. It's just exciting to see, where they are. Can Llangennech go there and get the win? I've played on Ystrad Rhondda's pitch. It's not a really nice place to go. You got to drive into a community centre to get to the damn pitch, and then the train tracks right behind the pitch, and they just travel all the time. That valley line.
Oh, yeah, the rugby pitch in the village where I grew up had a train track right next to it. So does Glasgow.
Yes, it can be really off-putting. Just people who've played on pitches where there's train tracks nearby, and a train goes through. It can get you. A lot of the time you can ignore it, but sometimes it just hits you, and it's like, what was that? Okay. Championship West, Ammanford travelling to Gasynan, and Crymych are going to Tartar Steel. Division 1 West, Bury Port travelling to Pontarddulais, St Clair's hosting One Island. Division 2 West, Fishguard at home to Milford, Whitland travelling to Larne, Lucha keeping their bye week, lucky those. Brynhaman involved in the Cup, so no games in 2 West Central.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at the thought that Lucha's bye was postponed.
That'd be awesome. 3 West now. Llandilo at home to Am United.
The bye didn't want to turn up.
4 West A. Pembroke at home to Pembroke Dock Quins. One of the biggest games in this league of essentially a lot of second teams.
There's a Pembroke derby.
It's a big Pembroke derby, a very big one. I believe Lee G is already standing on his couch looking out his back window watching them training. He might actually be doing that right now as it is Tuesday night.
Played for both. Was that the story?
I'm going to say maybe. Maybe.
We'll find out.
On the fence.
We'll let you know next week.
St David's got a bye. 4 West B, then Binya travel to Fall Bay. Huw's New Dock Stars get to host Furness.
Yeah, no one got battered by New Dock Stars last week, unfortunately.
No, it's It's a local-ish one as well. There's a few miles between them. It's not too far. And then we've got Pennybank at home to Pantavannan, and that is the end of the community this week, my friends. So, do you have any questions? That's what I should be asking now. Any questions?
Yeah, the only question is, did you remember to pay Jack from Luck his ransom from last week?
Why would I pay her? But I got 5 kids. I can barely afford to feed myself.
Well, I
I've
thought
got
you were,
multi-pack cans in the house, but come on.
I thought you were paying it. No, bugger. It means that evil man from Parma's still got him. I did go to Swansea to see if I could find someone there to pay his ransom, but I went there on Sunday. There's no one there. They were obviously somewhere else.
I like it. Okay. Ooh, that gives us something exciting to talk about now. So before we discuss the upcoming game, we have a bit of a giveaway for you guys.
We do.
We have 2 sets. 2 sets of 2 tickets to give away. Very excited. That's 4 extra bodies in the ground for free. If you want a chance of winning these glorious tickets, we'll be creating a nice little video over on YouTube for you. All you need to do is subscribe to the RAP channel. That's WRRAP. Like the video, give us a comment on your score prediction for Scarlets Black Lion, and that gives you a chance of winning 2 amazing tickets to watch the Scarlets utterly batter Black Lion. And I've got no doubts in saying that. So,
also, there's some quite famous Georgian players play for Black Lion. When I say quite famous, famous for Georgian rugby, I know who they are.
Who knows who everyone is? Who can tell you who played for
the guy who was nominated? There you go. A guy who was nominated for World Rugby Try of the Year will be playing at Parker Scarlets on Saturday or Friday, whenever the game is. When's the game?
Saturday.
Saturday. There you go.
Oh, I should really check the kickoff time if we're giving a ticket competition. When are these guys actually playing? It is on Saturday because we'll announce everything on Friday for you guys. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff.
There you go.
Is it a 1 o'clock kickoff? Is it a 1 o'clock kickoff?
No. You told me. You're looking at something. Have you got it written down there?
I had it written down, but I'm thinking back to earlier now when I saw the Scarlets bus timetable. So
hang on again. The Scarlets time travelling bus.
3 o'clock, isn't it?
Hang on. It's not there.
What do you mean? The time travelling bus is gone.
I can't find the game now. It's not on Rugby Pass. Hang on. It's on Sunday, Mark.
Huh?
It's on Sunday. It's at 1 o'clock on Sunday.
Oh, it's on Sunday. Oh, Christ. Oh, yeah. Oh, plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Well,
oh, my God. What are we doing?
On Sunday, the world's most famous Georgian player, apart from Devi Naniashvili, who's plays for Lyon, will be in the Parker Scarlets.
Yes, it is 1 o'clock. I just got the day wrong. Oh, that worked out awesome. Oh, my God. Thank you.
What, are you going to go now?
No, it's my daughter's birthday's on the 17th, but her party's on the 14th, and her party's at 12:30. So, oh, yes. Oh, thank you. That's worked out magically for me. Okay. Sorry, everyone that's actually going to enter that competition.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
What?
It's on The Simpsons. Anyway.
Yeah, I know who... No. Okay, Black Lion...
It's not. Look, let's not beat around the bush. We got to win this, right? There's some wrongs to be righted, and for God's sake, boys, you got to win this. They beat Vaughan last week, by the way, in Tbilisi. I think it was in Tbilisi. They beat the Vaughan in Georgia.
You've gone from the place. They beat them in their own country. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, at home.
But like we said, French teams in this competition, especially away, especially when they don't think they really need to bother.
Vaughan are bottom of the top 14.
Oh yeah, they're focusing on that top 14.
But I think they're down. I'm sorry, Vaughan. I love you, but I'm sorry, Cal Mahoney, who plays for Vaughan. I think you probably you're finished, I'm afraid.
As
But um yeah, the I'm trying to find the Von team sheet now because I've played like players of interest. Right, hang on, here we go. Oh, come on. Right. Callum Mahoney did not play for Von out in Black Line, sadly. We're
what?
playing Von as well, by the way, in
Yeah,
January.
at home. Yeah, so Carl best be bloody playing in that game. He can miss, 3 of these 4 rounds, but he's playing in that one. He best have
Oh,
it in his contract. If we play the Scarlets in Parker Scarlets, I'm bloody playing end
but
off.
one forward scholar did make a trip to Georgia, a certain Italy scrum half, Stephen Varney.
Yes, and when we say former Scarlet player, we're gonna say former academy player. He was
Former
an
academy
academy
player.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah. We like making number nines, especially for other countries. Harry Randall. Okay. What are we thinking? Like I know we just
I
talked.
don't, we got to win, right? There's no analysis here. We've got to win this game.
Yeah, here's the analysis. It's not we've got to win this game. It's how much we're winning it by. Because
Now,
we are
can I
gonna
just say, can I just say, like last season when we lost to Black Line, people were saying, "Oh, you lost to a pub," right? Black Line are not a pub side, okay? They're
they're
pretty
awesome.
much the Georgian national team. They're coached by Richard Cockerell, who is the Georgian national coach. He coaches both. They're like the Fijian Drua, but Georgian, and they got loads of Georgian internationals. Like I said, like Matt Carver, who plays fly half for them, he's the starting Georgia outside half. Tabizadze, who's the winger I was talking about, he's amazing, most try scoringest winger in the world at the moment. He plays for them. Um, Obviously, most of their forwards as well. Their captain, their second back row, plays for Black Line, and they've won the European Super Cup for every year it's existed. This
Yeah,
is a team that has never not won the title. Every year that Black Line have existed, they've won the title.
look, I love the European Super Cup. I watch it whenever I can. It's free on. Oh, I
Rugby
forgot.
Europe YouTube, I think, or
That's the
Rugby
one.
Europe website.
They're all free on there. You can click on the games. You can find them all. It's some good quality rugby they show, especially from Black Lion. But
They're not a pub team, is what I think they deserve respect.
they're not a pub team. Uh, the Super Cup, on the other hand, it is the Challenge Cups. You know, really really ugly baby sister. There's such a difference between Black Lion and then the rest of the pack. Like, was it Lustianos? The Portuguese side. They're pretty decent.
Lusitanos,
But
yeah.
that's the one. They're pretty decent, but even they get blown away. Like, so yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing these Europe Super Cup teams. Maybe forming maybe a URC2 with some other teams. That'd be nice.
Chat for another day. Chat for another day.
That's another. But yeah. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way in hell we're losing this. It's a case of how much are we winning by, and I think we're gonna. I think we're gonna put a lot of points on. I really do. I think we're gonna be in the 30s. How much we concede will be a different story. But I think we are gonna go out there with the intent of hurting them emotionally and literally
It's about revenge.
exactly. I think they play a forward orientated game. The Georgians. It's just what they do. And I think the way we've played this season, our defense is easily gonna not easily is gonna cope with that. And our attack, I think we're gonna slice them open on a few occasions.
They like to get the ball wide. You know, one of the biggest misconceptions about Georgian rugby is they're all about the scrum. They're not.
No, not as
That's a very outdated point of view. They are a razzle dazzle team. They love to get the ball to the back. They've got some extremely talented backs. If you look at the tries they scored against Italy, his backs moves.
yeah, they're not afraid to shift it wide, but obviously their dominance comes from their forwards.
It's not as good as people think it is.
No,
I'm not worried about our scrum against them.
I'm not worried about anything against them. I'm
I'm worried. Okay, so right, so this is a cup final for us, right? This is
yeah.
anything other than a win by a more than a score is unacceptable. So here's
Yeah,
the question. So it's a cup final. So if we're picking the team, who are you picking for this must-win game?
who's fit? That's my question. Who is fit for this game? So are we? Well, obviously Tom Rogers has come back. We're still waiting on Sam. So are we thinking Sam's going to be ready
Let's
for
say
this one?
Sam's ready.
Say Sam's ready. Ooh. Okay, so Blair obviously comes back in. Tom Rogers on the other wing, they know nice set of wingers as it stands. I move Lloyd back to 15. So that's my back three. Only because he's just come back. Because I like what Johnny has been doing all season. I'd have Eddie and Johnny in the centres.
Yeah, agree.
Half backs, yeah, Kaudo Sami. This kind of picks itself from there.
I wouldn't mind giving Archie a start, just because he's going to be our starting scrum half as soon. It's a matter of when, not if. So why not now?
I've got him from next year onwards. I've got my peg on Archie by year. I've got him on the bench against Black Lion. I've got him on the bench against the Ospreys, and then he's basically starting for the rest of his career. That's basically how I'm pegging him going forward. But it's the pack where I'm undecided and it's not starters. It's my bench. So it's going to be Matthias, Van der Merwe, and Henry Thomas starting. Obviously, Elias. If Wainwright is fit, I bring Wainwright. He gets his place on the bench.
Doesn't look like it.
But obviously, that would mean Holtz is there. Hopefully, he has another week. He'll have another week with us, another week to really steep into life down here. So a better performance building from him.
Replacement, Lee said.
Oh, I'm torn. Alec Hepburn has the experience, but he has struggled, and he hasn't just had the one game. He's an international level as well, so I don't know if this is a case of he can dominate in England because he's against English level opposition. You bring him in the URC, what he's up against, people who are top 5 in their position in their country. It's every single week. It's just a different level of competition. So I wouldn't mind seeing Sam O'Connor keep that bench spot. I like how he plays. He is he's more than ready for professional rugby in the loose, 100%. We haven't seen enough of him in the scrum, but he has got, like I said, he's got a good body shape to him. So hopefully, that in good stead anyway. And like I said, with all these SRC type players, they stand out at that level because they're ready for this level. And if we don't try them, when are we? So yeah, I'd probably give Sam that chance. Like when you're talking about development players, one-off games doesn't help. If you're gonna do you need to. I'll be honest, I'm probably talking 3-4 games, but 2 is the absolute minimum in my eyes. So I'd keep Sam there. Onto the second row. I can't believe we're having problems with second row.
When you say problems, you mean as in can't choose?
Can't choose, yeah. I mean,
it kind of doesn't matter. Lousy will start. It'll probably be Lousy and Maximus with Alex on the bench.
See, Max, barring this last game, I think he started every game he's been involved in, is he?
They've tried him at 6 a couple of times. He was at 6 against the Bulls.
So I'm just looking by Douglas. He's had some time off as well, haven't he? He had a week off somewhere. Yeah, I can see it. And then he's been at 6. Yeah, I think Douglas. I think it's going to be Lousy and Douglas and Craig off the bench. I'd have no issue with Jack Price being in there. He's showing his worth, especially defensively and hitting rucks. he's a workhorse, and he's developing into that type of mold, which is great. It's great for him, great for us to know the exact type of player he is, and if we lose someone at the end of the season, what type of second row we need to recruit. So yeah, it's the back row that's my biggest issue. Like Fafita and McLeod start for me, end of. They start.
I wouldn't mind starting Tane and having Fafita on the
Yeah,
bench.
I know, but
Tane is
I
such a good impact sub. He's such a good impact sub.
that's what I mean. And then you got, obviously, Jared Taylor had a good game. You got Dan Davis and someone we haven't seen a lot of this season, Karen Tuapolotu, who
Carwin's not. We love him. He's not going to play in this game.
I know, but I don't know why.
It's
Like,
it's going to be Dan Davis, Josh McLeod, and Vita probably, unless he puts Plumtree at 6.
I
Are
hope he
we?
doesn't play Plumtree at 6. I hope he does. We hope we do not play Plumtree and Vifita in the same back three for this game. I can see for other games how it can be beneficial, but not for this one. I'm not against not having Dan Davis involved. Yes, we can see what he offers. He has the ability to jackal. He can break tackles. He gets through numbers in defense. But I'm looking at who else we've got. I'm thinking Jared Taylor does the same thing at a different level. So I'm probably sticking McLeod at 7 and Taylor at 6 with Plumtree on the bench. That's where I'm looking.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think he will go Dan Davis though.
Yeah, I think you'll go down Davis, but that's what I'm saying. It's that age old story of balance that we like to talk about in the back row. It is going to depend on who we actually see and who the opposition is, obviously. But
Yeah.
that's a story for another day. So, what about you? What changes are you making into that? Are we more or less set?
I wouldn't be. I'm okay with Johan Lloyd starting with Sam on the bench, just because of how it's gone so far this season. I think who wears 23 is interesting. Would you go Max Page because he's in impact and he can cover the whole back row? Sorry, the whole back line. Uh, a bit harsh on Johan Nicholas to drop him.
He's
Uh,
got his 100.
Ellis Me probably doesn't. If everyone's fit, Ellis Me probably doesn't make the 23,
No.
which is a shame for him. Yeah, and like I said, I wouldn't be against starting Archie and having Cowder on the bench.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking at this from, impact player perspective. If we're starting Eddie and Johnny, Joe's not on the 23. Joe's not an
Yeah, he's
impact
just not.
player.
He's not an impact player. Neither Joe or Eddie are impact players.
No,
Like
they're not.
if everyone had been fit from the start of the season, if we were playing a cup final, Johnny Williams would be on the bench
Oh,
because he's an
100%.
impact player,
Yeah, that's
and
just the way you
you
go.
can bring him on in either centre position, and you can just give him the ball and go, Johnny, make
Yeah,
an impact, will you? And he'll make an impact.
he does. I think he brings, a bit of calm in our back line
Yeah,
at the minute as
just
well,
like
which is nice.
if we like had a bench which had on it, um, say for example, it had on it Tane Plumtree, Johnny Williams, and Alex Craig and Ryan Elias all on the bench. That's an impactful bench.
Add Archie, because I think Archie will add a bit of zip into that. I think he could develop into that style of
Yeah,
player too.
that's exactly what we've been talking about in a kind of bench that arguably lifts. If you bring that on 50 minutes, the opposition's going, ah, for goodness sake.
Yeah, it's something that I spoke about when I was on rap. It's something I speak about in here. I like to finish the game either with the same level 15 or stronger 15, just because those last 25 minutes are the most important, and
Yeah.
there's no doubt about that. But yeah, so give us a scoreline back before we go.
Oh, God's sake. 23-16.
Ooh, 36-19 for me.
You think they'll score 3 tries against us?
Yeah, I
Really?
do. I think they're going to get an early score. I think they're going to grind one out somewhere along the lines, and I think they're going to pick one up for fun at the end once the game's dead and buried.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tight, scrappy game. I think it's going to be error-prone.
I want to see our Scarlet flair. I want to see what we've been doing well this season, and that is knocking people back, pinching ball, and just scoring for some beautiful tries.
Yeah. Yeah, we could have spent the whole week working on attack, by the way. You didn't need any tackle practice after the Bayonne game.
Oh, God, no. You know, that 20 minutes of contact you're allowed, or you could use that really wisely after that game.
Yeah.
All right, then, but that
does
us for another week. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, whatever it is you do on the platform you're listening. And we'll come back next week celebrating a triumphant win at the Park. And we might actually be talking about another triumphant win at the Park in the near future if the if the Liberty is not fixed in time. So, yeah, that's where we stand. Get involved with the ticket giveaway, and we'll see you all again next week. Thanks for joining me, Huw. Bye, bud.
That was Saucepans and Sidesteps. Please rate, review and share on socials if you can, and join us again next week for more of the same. And until then, enjoy your rugby.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.